Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, whatever day it is. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to another podcast Zoom. We're here, okay? I'm feeling inspired and excited to talk to you about this topic because I know that we are in a time where it seems like there's so much negativity around us. And it's really uncertain what to do, where to turn. Feels like even if you want to be excited about your life or about the world, you kind of feel bad sometimes because there are so many people who are going through so much. And so I wanted to tune in with you today because I want to help you maybe see this in a different light, maybe have a different perspective, because I know personally, not only am I working on this all the time in my own life, I'm having to help my 17-year-old daughter navigate it as well, because there are a lot of mean kids in high school, especially when you're quirky and fabulous and have spectrum neurodivergency like she does. And so I want to tune in. And what I'm really dying to talk to you about is not only our state of mind and how we see the world, but to almost kind of rock the boat a little bit and maybe help each of us take responsibility for how we're feeling and how we're seeing the world and what we're putting out there. So if I were to tell you to close your eyes, open them, and then only see the red things around you. Look at red, look at the red, look at red, see red, concentrate on red, find the red, and then I have you close your eyes again and have you tell me everything you saw that was brown. Do you think you'd be able to remember anything? And the answer is no. Unlikely, unless it's a space you're used to. You get where I'm going. And that is because what we focus on, we attract. That is how the universe works. And expecting it and trying to make it work differently doesn't work. You can't fight against it. It's a law of the universe. It's just like if you were to say, I'm going to fly off this building and try and manifest it into reality, the law of gravity is going to go, no, you're not, unless you are in a little airplane and have magic wings, which probably isn't the case. So the law of attraction. And so what's happening in the collective space right now with our mindsets, with our energy, is we are so focused because we're so tuned in, so tuned on all the time with social media, with the news, with this media, with that, with everyone talking about everything. And then we just keep perpetuating this negative narrative of all the quote bad that's going on. Well, I want to challenge you to realize that there's actually a lot of good going on. But when we are only focused on the negative, when we stay in that lower vibrational state, we are easily controlled. Yes? And again, this is no judgment. It happens to me all the time. I was clinically diagnosed with major depressive disorder, anxiety, OCD, and PTSD, all within a 10-year span. And that is not to say, ooh, look at me, poor me, I'm a victim. That is not it at all. I just want you to know where I'm coming from, where I have been, because it's easy to see where someone is and assume that they don't understand or that they don't know what you're going through. And I do. And I want this to be hope for you, that you can overcome all of the negative self-talk, all of the mean girl noises in your head, because guess what? They're not real. They're not your reality. They are just a cassette tape that was programmed that way in your mind, and it's playing on repeat because that's what it's used to. That's what you are focusing on. And it's this cycle, right? When we focus on the negative, when we think negative, that's what we see, that's what we attract, that's what we get. Therefore, it reiterates in our mind, oh, there, see, I was right. I never have this. This always happens, this. So what do we do? Okay, Kathryn, I hear you. And this is very hard. It is. It is very hard. And it's because our minds are so powerful. We are so powerful. We're actually using the law of attraction and manifestation just in the wrong way. We're attracting and manifesting everything that we don't want because it's what we focus on. So, how did I overcome my negative things? How do I overcome them every day? Because they don't really ever go away. They just get a little quieter. You kind of put them in the back seat and say, okay, no more backseat driving. Shh, I got us. Let's just sit down, take a breath. But I am driving the car. I hear you. I know you're scared. Because that's all it is, you guys, is us trying to control things because we're afraid. And then because all of us, we are all one. We are all the collective energy, the divine. And when we all have the same thought, it magnifies it and makes it 1,000,000 times worse. So, back to what can we do? You need to notice the thoughts and the voices first and foremost. And then you need to raise your vibration every single day and tune in to that person that you know that you already are. The one who is positive, the one who is a light, because that's why we're here, to be a light, to be our most radiant selves, and to live a beautiful life. And you deserve a beautiful life, and you can have it. I know you can. Back to how. I keep getting distracted. Squirrel. How do we do this? So I'll tell you what I do. Because I'm not on any medications, and this is not dissing medications. I believe that there is a time and a place for everything. And I am in a place where I do not need them. And what I do is I utilize things like meditation, breath work, and positive thinking, yes, and positive thinking only works when we rewire the system with modalities such as breath work, EFT tapping, the meditation, maybe even some plant medicine if you're into that. And knowing that it can happen and finding the faith and the trust in whatever you believe that you can do this, and not giving into those thoughts and not feeding them. I love the quote where this gentleman was saying, there is a dog and there's a wolf. Whichever one you feed is the one that's going to get bigger. So are you feeding those thoughts? Are you finding yourself having road rage and then calling someone instantly to tell them all about it and how this person cut you off and it's terrible, they're terrible, the world is terrible? And again, no judgment, just realization and acknowledgement. Because when you do that, that feeds it. That feeds the negative narrative, that feeds the energy. And awareness is key, and then choosing one different thought every time. So, for example, one thing I've been trying to do lately, more and more of, is stopping throughout my day to tune into my thoughts. Kind of a meditation, kind of not. You just sit with the thoughts and allow them to happen. You don't try and push them away. You don't give in to them and let them spiral. You just watch them as if they're clouds passing in the sky, and you know that they will pass and that we will overcome it. Because guys, I hate to break it to you. Everyone keeps talking about how, quote, bad times are right now. And yes, there are people in pain and things are a lot energetically and they are heavy. I do not want to take away from that. And that's what happens here. Things get hard all the time. And there's always people who find a way to be okay in the hard. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. And when we do things out of our comfort zone, or we tune in, or we raise our vibration, we will naturally become someone who gravitates towards the more higher vibration positive thinking. I hate to use the term positive thinking because it's like, just think positive. No, that's not how the brain works. Anyway, but you hopefully understand where I'm flowing with this. And I want you to give yourself grace, because these are programs that you were given. They're not yours. And yet you have to overcome them. But that is your superpower. That is what you get to do. So you get to fall in love with doing hard things. Like when you're at the gym. Why do we lift weights? Why do we push ourselves? You are literally ripping apart the muscle, tearing them down, getting a little bit in that pain, uncomfort zone. And then what happens to it? It gets stronger. It gets more resilient. Guys, our systems are the same. You can do this. You can overcome the hard thoughts, the spirals, all of it. You can. And I know what you're thinking, because I am right with you. But I've got this, but my negative thinking, my anxiety is too high, my this, my that. That's why we have these tools and we have each other. Because I want to help you come back to you. I will hold your hand until you can hold yourself. I promise. Because it's possible. And you deserve to feel joy. You are joy. You are gratitude. You are compassion. You are love. Life is beautiful. We just have to learn to look for the beauty, even when it's hard. So my, not challenge, but my encouragement for you is moving forward when you have negative thoughts come up, or when anxiety spikes, or you feel your heart start to race and I don't know if I can do this. Pause. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, making the exhale twice as long as the inhale. Tuning in, allowing the feeling to pass as best as you can, and then tuning into your heart and thinking of something that you are so grateful for that you feel like your heart is just going to jump right out of your chest. And one of my favorite tools that I actually taught to one of my beautiful models that I got to coach this past weekend is you pause and you imagine that there's this golden cord connecting your heart and your head. And just feel into that. Activate your heart. That is where your energy source lies. It's what you really are. There are two things in the world, love and fear. And people are either doing things because of one or the other. Love yourself enough to do the things you need to do to feel incredible, or at least a little bit better. And to be a light to the people around you, yes, and to yourself. Because my beautiful, beautiful friends, things are not going to change until we take responsibility for our own healing, our own lives, and we stop blaming the people who cut us off, our parents, our siblings, this friend who broke up with me, this boy who did this to me, this thing that happened, the politics, the this, the that, the wars. Yes, they are real, but they do not have to be our life. And as we each change, we slowly raise the vibration together. So go out in the world today and make a choice. Who do you want to be? And what is one step you need to do to get just a little bit closer to them? I love you. Have a beautiful day.